What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 2 for 2, your sports podcast for the culture, by the voices of the culture. I'm your host, Quis. I'm here as always, my brother Nell. We back on the pod for you guys today, man. A little out of sequence, maybe, but we're here. Now, a lot of things have happened since we've been on the pod. We got the finals are still going on. We can start with that, right? We were Thunder in 5. We got a game 7.
Got 7, man.
We got a game 7 coming up. But also we had our first little bit of trade movement in the NBA, right? We've been hearing that this offseason is going to be one of the most insane offseasons for trades, player movement, the draft, whatever. And here we are, a surprise move maybe for some. Demane Bane, former Memphis Grizzlies shooting guard, traded out the blue to the Orlando Magic. They got what? Cole Anthony, what's my guy's name? KCP, and 4 first-round picks and a pick swap. I think that's right off the cuff. Wow. How do you feel about that? Is that a lot?
I think it was a big price for a player who obviously hasn't made an All-Star team, All-NBA, still a really good player. Like I love the move for Orlando. Like price aside, like I think it's a perfect fit for them. It's exactly what they need. They've been one of the worst half-court offenses the last couple of years, one of the worst three-point shooting teams in terms of percentage, attempts, just been a bad shooting team in general. And obviously when your two best players are Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, 2 forwards that don't shoot the ball particularly well, you got to surround them with shooting to give them the best possible chance. So he's coming off a great year, averaging 20. His playmaking has been getting better year after year. He's up to around 5-6 assists. So I mean, he can be a secondary playmaker. You know, he can score, knock down threes. He's pretty good defensively, so he fits right in. You're not losing much, swapping him out for KCP, who had a really tough year. Cole Anthony, who I mean is a solid backup guard, but it's a team that's had plenty of guards. He's won't miss him much. But the 4 first-round picks are, I mean, that's just a tough price to give up for a team that isn't that close. Like I understand everyone's looking at the Pacers getting out of the East and everyone's thinking they got a chance, but I don't think that they're that close to where they can justify giving up 4 first-round picks. But I mean, for on the court, I love the move because I think it's a great fit, and I think they're going to be a better team for it next season.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't care so much about the picks. Honestly, I feel like from the Magic's perspective, they're thinking, contrary to what you said, they're thinking they're that close, right? Exactly what you said with the Pacers and even the Thunder, how that was kind of built in an organic way. A lot of these teams now are seeing the NBA is wide open, right? And if you're the Magic and you think flat out, this is what I'm missing to get me to just compete, just give me a chance, right? You banking on Paolo taking another leap. You're banking on Franz taking another leap. So then you get a guy that you said, like, Bane is just solid, right? Like up until this year, he averaged 19 this year. He had 23 last year. He shoots almost 40% from 3 every season, right? So I mean, he's flirting with, he's like 45, 40, and then he shoots like 80-some% from the free throw line. Like that's pretty efficient, right? Like that's really good. And he can be another playmaker for him, right? The way you look at the Magic team, there is Paolo, is Franz on the wing. Both of those guys handle the basketball, right? A lot of people would want Orlando to go get a point guard. They're like, oh, why didn't you go after Garland? Or why didn't we go get somebody else? Whatever the case. Like, Bane can dribble the ball, and your 2 best players dribble the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, Franz runs the offense sometimes.
And they should have Jalen Suggs back next season.
And they'll have Jalen Suggs
this year. I think he was having a pretty good season to start the year before he got hurt.
Yeah.
He's not some floor general, but I mean he's proven to be a solid point guard, and he's improved each year in and year out, and obviously he adds to what they do defensively. So I mean that's a pretty good backcourt.
Absolutely. So they got much better, right? Much better. Like you said, they need shooting desperately. and Bane provides just that. I'm sure they'll keep adding some pieces. And I think the thing with the picks is like, if we're thinking this pickup takes us into the second round, fighting for the Eastern Conference Finals, trying to in the next 2 to 3 years as our guys continue to get better, them picks gonna be 20 and all. Like, I thought about it like this: Johnny Furphy was like pick 14 in the draft. Johnny Furphy don't play for the Pacers. You know what I'm saying? Like, Reed Shepherd was pick 3 for the Rockets. He didn't even play. So you think like a lot of these guys that are getting drafted, you think about where the Magic will be slotted to draft for the next few seasons, you're probably not getting a guy that's plug and play right now about to make us that much better, right? So to me, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not, especially the way that the league is run now. You can get guys in any pick slot, and
they do have to, like you said, they have to meet those expectations.
Absolutely.
Now, if they fold in the next 2 years, and the front office goes, all right, well, this Paulo Franz Wagner thing isn't working, let's blow it up. Now what? Now you're a tanking team, and you've given up all your first round picks. So,
I mean, yeah, that's definitely the caveat, right? Like,
now I don't think that will happen, but it's a possibility.
Not in the Eastern Conference. Like, think about it. All this stuff kind of goes back to just look at the playoff format. Like, you just got to be one of the best 10. Just be one of the best 10. And you got a shot to make the playoffs every single year. The East is not getting that much better.
Anything can happen. Hey, there was a team out there with an MVP, another All NBA player, another max guard. They somehow couldn't make top 10. Stuff happens.
If Paolo and Franz go out there and get hurt, that changes things.
Yeah.
But one thing that
then you got no first round. Then you got no assets to lean on.
Then you trade somebody. You trade one of the two guys that you said is not working with, and you get them back. Ain't that bad. It happens. But we'll see, man. The East got a little bit better.
It was a lot of assets to give up to hopefully get out the first round.
Yeah, it's a big, like, okay, this was a guy you went after, right? Like Demane Bane, you handpicked him. It's not Kevin Durant, right? It's not Giannis. It's not these guys where we're like, all right, we're buckling up. Just Bane, a guy that's like you say, perfect fit, adds exactly what they need
on the court.
Can help them a ton. Can help them a ton, but can it get them to the ECF as is? Probably not. But it's wide open. It's wide open. Another thing, man, LeBron, he has some comments about ring culture and basically talking through, how it's kind of ruined the NBA and you don't see it as much across other sports. Do you think Bron is copping out here, or you feel you agree with him?
Here's the thing about this conversation around ring culture lately, especially since LeBron made these comments on his podcast. It's just going to be a never-ending discussion because both sides are right, in my opinion, at least. Of course, it's a team achievement, so it's stupid to necessarily blame one individual for a team not accomplishing the ultimate goal, especially in a league with 30 teams, competitive. Like, it takes a lot to win a championship. Health, luck, the talent. It takes a lot. So to put that all on one individual who may have all the talent in the world, but doesn't have the team around him to flourish and be in a spot to win a championship, we can't put that all on just that person. You got to look at the organization, players around them, coaching. That stuff matters. But at the same time, I mean, when you're comparing to the greatest players to ever play and the guys that got it done, I don't think it's disrespectful or crazy to say that we can't put you in this conversation because you didn't win. I mean, that is fair. They were able to overcome all those obstacles. And obviously, when you play for a team like the Lakers, the Celtics, teams that have all these resources, big market teams, it's a lot easier winning in a city, obviously Memphis and Minnesota, teams like small market teams like that. It's hard to get over that hump there. But I don't like he brought up Barkley and Iverson. And yeah, nobody's ever said they're not great players.
Exactly.
But you're not bringing as great as Allen Iverson was, you're not bringing him up in a conversation with Kobe. Doesn't mean that he wasn't absolutely sensational and amazing in his own right. Obviously, we know what he did leading the Sixers to the finals with basically a bunch of scrubs, losing to Shaq and Kobe. But you're not in that class. Imagine trying to argue comparing somebody to Jordan or Kobe or LeBron, and they don't have any championships. How can you do that? If you're that great, if you're on that level,
gotta have something to account for it.
You gotta have something to account for. You gotta at least be able to break through once or twice. Now, it's not the be all end all. It's like, you look at greats like Iverson, T-Mac, Barkley, Patrick Ewing, guys that didn't win it. Doesn't take away from their individual success, and it shouldn't. I just think as far as like ring culture where it gets talked about is a player loses in the playoffs, and you just know he's going to get clowned on Twitter, social media. Media is going to scrutinize, nitpick at any little thing about his game for him not getting over the hump and, leading his team to victory. I think that's where all the ring culture debate kind of gets nasty, because just because somebody didn't play well in a certain game, I don't think it takes away from their entire body of work. Yeah. And like I said, I don't think it's not unfair to be like, hey, this one person always rose to the occasion in the big moments. That's why they're kind of in that different tier.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think both sides are right, but it's just, it's just part of sports conversation. That's why we love it.
Yeah. Now, social media of today, makes it seem so much more, so much bigger, right? Like, but I feel like ring culture has kind of always been a thing in the NBA, right? Like, it's always going to be argued. The greats from back in the day to now, like we still talk about Bill Russell, like the ultimate champion, right? Like he goes and gets it, and that puts him in a certain tier, whatever the case. But it's like, I feel like now because the players see it so much more, right? Like I can at KD every single day if I want to and get on his nerves, and he'll probably respond and tell him about himself if I want to, and it makes the whole thing nuts, right? Like, I get that frustration from a player's perspective. But like you're saying, man, it's when we talking about the greats, right? Like what's gonna be the greatest separator, right? Like what we all know those guys that can hoop, but they just never won. It just kind of becomes like a trait, right? Like it just kind of follows you. Like there are legitimate great hoopers that are not winners, right? There are legitimate great hoopers that just by some odd chance.
I feel like that's part of the conversation that gets nasty. Why are we saying they not winners? It's like they just haven't won the big one. That's all.
But this is the thing with the big one, right? I feel like across sports historically, it's the same guys. It's perpetual, right? Like Bron was talking about the MLB and NFL and all that thing. MLB aside, we talked about that already. Like the NFL, right? When you're looking at, the Patrick Mahomes, the Tom Brady's, like it's a perpetual greatness thing. And that's why when we talk about football and quarterbacks and stuff, you can put it on that level. But I'll even say this, I don't like it in football. I think it's easier to have that conversation in basketball because of the simple fact that the greatest players impact the game in such a huge way. Like when I talk about are they a winner? Like I think about Luka sometimes, right? Like he has so much talent that he can win big games. But then we also see traits to him that would signify he ain't gonna get it done because he's not doing X, Y, Z. LeBron got it done. Like he has those traits. Jordan got it done. He has those traits. Kobe has those traits, got it done. And it's like you see them all the time. It happens. It becomes
I think Luka's young enough that, and now with the Lakers,
you hope.
I think he deserves some grace. I mean, he did get a team to the finals,
right? But I mean, that'll just
so you can't say like he's not a winner.
It'll be the same conversation that you'll have though about Allen Iverson, right? Like if it doesn't happen, like Luka's gonna go down as probably one of the best generational players ever. But like if he never wins a ring, that is gonna be a huge knock to him, and it should be because we want to see the greats win, right? Everybody's mad about the finals right now because they saying this the shit boring. Part of that is
that is fair. The greats, you do want to see the greats win a championship and submit their legacy, but it's not always in the cards for every great player in the league.
And that's fine.
Like I said, we got some teams that just don't know how to run a basketball team. These organizations, they don't know how to scout talent and put together teams, and some teams are just superior at that than others. And unless everyone just goes to the same team, which I mean, that's what some stars had to do. But and obviously us as the fans hated it. But unless they all gang up and just go to all the great organizations, I mean, like, are we ever going to see the Charlotte Hornets win a championship? Probably not. You ever what superstar is going to go to Memphis to try and win a championship? Who's going to Portland to try to win a championship?
Yeah, and there's a lot of factors, obviously, and I think, that's why, to me, the greats are the greats. There's a lot of hoopers that I was watching Brandon Roy highlights this week. I was like, oh my God, he
one of my favorites.
Cold. Like, and it's like, that's cool, right? And I think that's part of the problem. Like, I don't like the ring debate when we're just talking like hooper to hooper. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's fair.
Let's do that. But if it's, Michael Jordan is the best player of all time.
If we're talking the greatest, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Right.
How can you be brought up in the discussion of the greatest of all time if you haven't been able to break through for at least one championship? I mean, when literally every single all-time great has pretty much done that, except Barkley, Iverson. You have Harden in there, but I mean, like,
we'll never say they was trash. Well, they was cold.
All-time greats, but like they just won't be mentioned. Like when I think shooting guards, it's Wade, it's Kobe, Jordan, Wade,
and you got to go hard.
Yeah, that hard.
But that's the separator, right? But if Harden had a ring, like the people, like
if Harden had a ring, he would probably be over Wade.
He'd be over D Wade, right? I argued that all the time with people. I'm like, oh, James Harden is way better. He's like, how? He never won. Like, all right, you're talking hooper for hooper, but all time, absolutely right. Like, you can't be the number 3 all time shooting guard in a tier with 2 others that won 6 and 5 respectively,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like.
But individual success, I mean, he's right, but there.
If I pull up them numbers and I say you're telling me that this compared to this, you know what I'm saying? James Harden's not in it. Yeah, so I mean, I get LeBron's frustration. He was ranking in other sports. We talked about it, like baseball. That's insane. Like, you can't do that in baseball because it's
like I said, both sides have very fair points. Yeah, like as players, like you go out there and you score 30 and you lose, and it's you the one, your face is plastered all over the media for the reason why the team lost and why the team isn't winning.
Troll culture. I mean,
I totally understand that.
That's
nasty. Just human emotion to just feel attacked, but like it's just it's part of sports. Some things are just part of sports, and they're here to stay. I think ring culture isn't going anywhere. I don't think it shouldn't.
It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I don't think it should get worse. I mean, we could clean up some of the conversations. Like I said, like we don't have to say guys necessarily aren't winners just because they didn't win a championship. I mean,
there are select guys, I think, in the NBA that are legitimately like they just don't care. Like those types of guys, like, honestly, I'm just out here hooping.
I don't think a guy leading his team to the finals don't care. I think that's a hard thing to do.
You better.
I think that's a hard thing to do.
Better. Now I start to question you though when you get knocked down and you stay on the ground.
I don't think a guy crying at his return game don't care.
3 points. That was a different situation. They just shipped him off.
If he don't care, he don't care.
I mean, he cares. He got an ego. These are the best players in the best players in the world. He got an ego.
I'm saying.
My gripe is, like I said, if you get fouled or you think you get fouled, you on the ground. We trying to win a championship. You laying on the ground, looking and pointing, and we playing 5-on-4 here. That to me is selfish. That, like, the greats don't do that foolishness.
In some way, they all do.
I mean, they have their ways, but make up for it, please. You can't do that. Then don't play no defense. Today's not for Luka slander. I like Luka. He cool.
Yeah, see?
And I don't want to say he's not.
It shouldn't turn into slander just because they didn't get the job done.
I will redact that. I just
like, hey, he just wasn't good enough, and that's okay.
Hey, that's okay. Plenty
of other nights he is good enough.
He absolutely is.
Way more often than he's not.
For sure. I think I saw a friend of mine actually on his podcast. They started arguing about Shea and like, is he a top 3 player in the NBA right now? And everybody's like, yeah. And he's like, nah. He's like, you telling me Luka's best isn't better than Shea's best? And he kind of getting that whole thing. No, and it is. It was an interesting convo. I'm gonna have to send it to you.
Giannis is still up there. Joker's still up there.
Oh, for sure. No, I think somebody said Giannis, Joker, and I think he said Giannis, Joker, Luka was his top 3 players in the world right now, or in the league. And I'm like, maybe.
Certainly a conversation.
Maybe. But we, on the topic of Shea, man, and on the topic of finals, somebody's gonna win a championship. We got Game 7. We all thought it was gonna be over in 5, like I said at the beginning of the show. When Halliburton was alleged with the calf injury, I don't want to say alleged, he's clearly hurt, right? With Halliburton fighting through a calf injury, we definitely didn't think that we were going to Game 7, but here we are. Game 6 was a blowout, actually, in Indiana. That's hard to say. In Indiana last night.
I know it's hard for you to talk about the Pacers.
It is. But hey, if they win the championship, I can say we lost the team that won the championship. I'm starting to come around to it.
If that makes you feel better, I'm happy for you.
It does a little bit. It does. What are we thinking, man? How are we feeling about this? Game 6, Thunder just want to go back home and get it done?
I was very surprised that the outcome was as crazy as it was.
It was pretty bad.
I honestly, I really expected the Thunder to come out and really put it into the series, especially with, I knew Halliburton was going to play, but so much discussion about, him being hobbled and would he play in Game 6 and just the tone that they set in that first quarter. And OKC actually got out to a good start. They were up 10-2, but after that, it was just you could just see they just did not show up. They just absolutely, it was a classic. You could see that, one team was fighting for its life and the other team was playing like they had another game at home. So that's exactly what it looked like. And that's the one that's, they showed their youth there. That's one thing when, people call this like one of the greatest teams of all time. It's like, I'm not really like there with it. Cause I just think a great team would have seized that moment and ended that series right there. Best players hobbled, going on the road. Like we've seen so many guys, just end the championship right there before it gets to a Game 7. How many Game 7s do we have in the finals, period? And, they are the better team, and I expect them to win Game 7. That they came out with lack of focus, no intensity defensively. So
it was,
that just wasn't a good performance. But that's why I just hold back on calling them one of the greatest teams of all time. Still got plenty of ways to grow. It's a good thing that they probably going to win a championship still with a lot of growing pains, but surprised at how the Pacers just pretty much just dominated them.
Yeah, it was a little, I don't want to say concerning, but like you're saying, they definitely showed their age, right? Like you kind of expect a little bit more energy from them. You're used to them not looking so flat. Their offense has some moments where it was just like so many scoreless droughts. Conversations are happening about Chet right now because he's not playing that great, at least offensively. Lou Dort didn't really give him that much last game. You know what I'm saying? Shea and J-Dub, they started off, they had pretty good first halves statistically, but I think didn't Jalen Williams end the game with 16 points? He had 16 at half or something like that, and he finished with 16 points. Like, just weird. Definitely not what you would expect. The best teams in ever, right? They smell blood. Like you said, your best player is hobbled right now. We about to come to your crib and just go ahead and take you out your misery.
Getting cooked by T.J. McConnell
But
and
yeah, you're
Obi
giving up
Toppin.
T.J. McConnell and Obi Toppin giving you the business. Like it disgusting. That actually does. Hey, I can't. They can't win, bro.
But I
They
mean,
can't win.
give the Pacers a lot of credit
No,
showing up and balling at home.
for sure.
They're going to need that and a lot more if they want to capture a championship in OKC.
Absolutely. And one thing I do want to say, like, shout out to Rick Carlisle, man. Like, he's got these guys on the brink of a championship. At the end of the day, and this is my problem with the Thunder letting it get to 7, is like at this point, it's one game. It don't matter what. All bets are off at this point, right? Like, I know you're favoring the Thunder, and I also I do think they'll win as well. I'm leaning that way, of course. But I mean, shoot, the worst part about it going to Game 7 is the simple fact that if you have a bad night, your season's done. You know what I'm saying? You're leaving it to chance now, right? You don't want that to happen in a team like the Pacers, where we see the magic that they have, right? I saw it on Twitter. They were like, "This man Halliburton will be the first person to hit a Game 7 buzzer beater, isn't he?" It's gonna
He would be the
stuff
one.
like stuff like that, right? And so that's my problem with them not winning that. But, like I was saying, a lot of credit to Rick Carlisle. I mean, he's done this before, right? That Dallas Mavericks team that nobody expected to defeat the Miami Heat. You got Jason Terry out here outscoring LeBron James in the finals, right? Like this is pretty reminiscent of that. And I want to give do you think we should give Rick Carlisle more credit and put him in that elite tier of coaching? Should they pull this off? Because he's one of the more masterful coaches in the league.
I think he's already in that elite
you put him
tier
in there?
of
You put
coaching.
Him in there? Okay.
Regardless of if they lose the series or not. I mean, he's a championship coach. I mean, for as long as I've watched basketball, he's been one of the best coaches in the league. It was shocking when Dallas let him go because him and Luka were butting heads. And, I mean, he went to the Pacers, and, I mean, nobody expected, anything from them. And, he's got them in the Eastern Conference Finals back-to-back years, and the finals, a game away from a championship. So certainly give him a ton of credit and some of the moves and adjustments that he's made, just the way they play and try to run. And, at first their defense was god awful. I mean, they will score 120, but they'll give up 130. So the work he's done with them defensively, just the identity of that team. So definitely got to give him a lot of credit. And what she got him, Spoelstra. Well, Pop's retired now.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he's a General Pop.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's probably a top 5 coach.
Yeah. No, shout out to him for being able to unlock Obi Toppin, man.
Kerr.
Udoka just got an extension.
Well deserved.
Shout out to him, man. Yeah, I'm glad Rick was able to figure out how to use Obi Toppin. Tibbs can't.
Somebody had to.
Can't believe you. We could have used that this year. It's all right. It's okay. So Game 7, you're rolling with the Thunder. That's your prediction.
Yeah, I am. I've seen, some people worried, how because of how badly they got blown out in Game 6, if that'll roll over into Game 7. I mean, honestly, I really don't think it'll be close. Like you said, if it is close, I think, with Halliburton, there's always a chance. If it's close, I'm giving the Pacers. It's a 5-point game with 3 minutes left. I'm giving the Pacers a huge chance to win the game. But I did some research and I looked it up. Every team that had a 3-2 lead and lost Game 6 on the road with Game 7 at home has a 75% chance of winning. They are 82-27. A lot of those games, whether it's a blowout, close game, whatever. So this has been the Thunder all season. They rarely lose 2 games in a row. I don't know if they've lost 2 games in a row this entire postseason.
They have not.
Their bounce back games are always amazing, especially when it's at home. It usually ends in a blowout. Pacers have not looked comfortable at home. I mean, well, in OKC this entire postseason, obviously they won Game 1, but up until the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter of Game 1, I mean, looked like they shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Game 2,
Yeah.
they got blown out. Game 5, destroyed. So
Yeah.
why would
The
I
trend's
expect
real.
anything else in Game 7?
Hey, man. Can we bring back Nelly's numbers? I like that. I like what you just pulled out. Nelly's numbers is back, man, in new form. He's
Because
leaving the.
everybody's talking about the Pacers. I'm just like, I mean, we see this all. We just see it all the time. I mean, there are some rare
Yeah.
cases. I mean, we saw Minnesota win Game 6 and then go into Denver, come back from 20 and win Game 7 on the road. But more times than not, the better team is going to win at home in Game 7 anyway. You talked about their bench. Their bench plays much better at home. You're going to have, Caruso. If Wiggins can knock down some shots, I expect J-Dub and Shea to play better. They always play better coming off a loss. Chet probably won't look as I don't think he'll look as terrible as he did in Game 6. So I think guys are just going to be flying around. They'll get back to creating turnovers and playing defense. And I mean, like the Pacers, they're one of the teams too. I mean, when they won Game 6 against New York, and then that the best shooting playoff game ever, Game 7 on the road. I mean, that's pretty much what they're going to have to do something. I'm sorry to bring up bad memories, but they're going to have to do something like that again if they want to win Game 7 in OKC, because I don't see them having a chance. I mean, Halliburton only had, he played well and much better than most people expected.
For what he had.
He had 14 and 5, but that's not going to be enough to win a Game 7 on the road in OKC with a championship on the line. I don't think so. I mean, Pascal's played great, but he's going to have to step up big time. TJ's going to have to, keep lighting it up. I mean, everybody's going to, on the Pacers, is going to have to show up. I mean, on the Game 7 on the road, that's the toughest thing to do. So, guys are just going to have to hit shots and be extremely locked in defensively. But the Thunder have been doing this all year. After a loss, they usually dominate teams, especially when they're at home. They always play better at home. Their bench plays better at home. When their bench plays better, you know what you're getting from Shea. So, really, if J-Dub and Chet show up, it could be the game. It could be another Game 6. The game could be over at halftime or third quarter.
Yeah, the fact that it's OKC's playing at home, it's hard to say that they won't win, right? We've seen, like you said, we've seen how great they've played at home. We've seen how great they play in a bounce back situation. But even more so, like Game 6, Indiana was desperate, right? Season's on the line. Now everybody's desperate. Now both teams are desperate and gotta have it. And I think I tend to side with the better team in a situation like that, where it's like, hey, we gotta give it everything we got, or it's over. Like, as simple as that. Like, we gotta have our best game. And I'm confident with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being the best player in this series, hands down. I have a hard time seeing him let them go out like that, right? The way that Jalen Williams is his own worst enemy. When he doesn't have great games, I feel like it's just his fault, right? Like, how many times do you just see this man make a great cut and get a dunk? Like just move around. Jalen Williams can get 15 points, breathe it. Just walk out there. Just, let's not make this hard, right? Halliburton's injured. Siakam, like you said, is playing out of his mind, but you're giving up too much to TJ McConnell, and you're letting Nembhard get off on you a little bit, right? You're letting Obi Toppin get off on you. Miles Turner's not even playing great for the Pacers right now, but like the Thunder have better players. The Thunder are the better team, right? And right now, this is our season. Like, we're at home. All signs point to a Thunder victory. I like what you said. If it's 5 minutes left, right, or it's a 5-point game under 3 minutes, it's going to get shaky, right? Because it's going to you got to give them the Pacers their credit in that regard, right? Like, they've proven that they can win those types of games. So, to your point, OKC needs to make sure that this game is over by halftime. Otherwise, it could be the Pacers. They got that magic. That's a good point. They got that magic.
If they got life, and they're going to be a tough out. But if they put them away, double-digit lead first quarter, I'm telling you, it's over.
The way the Thunder play, typically the way the Thunder play with leads, especially big leads, it's uncomfortable for other teams, right? It gets real nasty. And so I think if they go out there and, like you said, Halliburton's injured, right? Imagine he got to fight through a 20-point deficit, right? Hobbled. He played what, 23 minutes, 29 minutes or something like that. Obviously it was a blowout, but like, come on, let's do this thing the right way. I think the Thunder, they'll do what they got to do, and I think it'll be hopefully a more entertaining game, at least early, right? A lot of people are frustrated with. I think the ratings are pretty low on this series. Do you feel like it's like I've liked
enjoyed
this
it.
series? I haven't had a
I've enjoyed
problem
it.
with it. I
Obviously,
haven't had a
outside
problem
of
with it.
last night's game because it was
Yeah,
over.
that one was a snooze fest. That was a snooze, but
I've very much enjoyed the series.
yeah, it's two good basketball teams that play hard, right? Like, I mean, we talk about McConnell
Probably
and
the best
Obi
one
getting
since
off.
2016. And I always think 2016 is overrated. Anyway, the only good game was Game 7. Every game before that was a double digits, probably over before fourth quarter.
So yeah, I mean, and what I was getting to is, it's good to see some of these smaller stars getting some run, like getting some notoriety, right? Like, hey, shout out to TJ McConnell, former Sixer, right? Like Alex Caruso, shout out to Caruso, he making that paycheck. Like Aaron Wiggins, you seeing guys like that, getting the opportunity on this big stage to put on.
And wrestling, you got to put your big stars over. And one day you got to put over the younger stars so you can make them big stars. So
it's got to happen. You can't be a
NBA's
star if somebody's watching.
Got to put the young stars over.
Yeah, so we'll see, man. Hopefully the Thunder can get it done, man. This is the last hope to stop the Taliban. All right, I can't live with it. I'm hating, but I can't
Final
live
attack.
With it. This is it. This is it. If that man pulls out some foolishness on Sunday night, I'm done. I'm done with it.
And then the Halliburton Brunson talks are over.
All right.
Ring culture.
Let's pump the brakes. Exactly. Pump the brakes.
Conversation's over.
Halliburton could win 3 of them things.
Conversation.
He ain't passing my goat.
Oh God. If it was 3-0 in rings, I mean, how could he not?
3-0. That'd be tough. You gonna put him over CP if you get a ring? Come on, be for real. No.
I might.
Stop.
I mean, obviously he'd have to have a career still doing what he's doing, but
Right.
CP couldn't even get to the conference finals for like 15 years.
Hey, man. We just talked about it, right? They didn't want him to play with Kobe. Haters.
I mean, like...
And he got hurt every year. He's a very unlucky guy.
Did Chris Paul not play with possibly better teams?
I mean...
Those Lob City teams wasn't... Not...
But we just talked about the greats. We just talked about it. You talked about Kobe. You don't think Kobe and Chris Paul would have won one?
I'm just saying, Chris Paul and Halliburton, they teams, the supporting cast, they ain't that much different apart. For me to be like, Chris Paul only didn't get it because he ain't had the talent around him.
We're not putting him over Chris Paul.
I'm not saying I'm putting him over Chris Paul.
The Thunder are going to win this series, so it really doesn't even matter.
Fair enough. I agree with you.
I feel like every time we've gotten on here and done this, though, the Pacers win the next day.
I'd like to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I would not. I will call out of work on Monday.
So that way I can post a clip when you was like, we can't have Indiana winning the championship. No way, no how.
Pull it out. Pull it out even if they lose. I want that to be posted. I tell everybody I was right.
Well, you ain't even think they was going to get to the finals.
They weren't supposed to. An old coach named Tom Thibodeau with brain rot. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, don't blame him.
Tibbs like that. I won't do Tibbs like that. The players got to play, right?
Y'all going to have to bring Tibbs back. Y'all going to have to offer him a contract with more money.
We're going to find a coach, bro. Come on.
They're going to be like, shit, we messed up, Tibbs. Our bad. We thought we had something out there. Don't know what you got until it's gone.
We good. Don't worry about that. I told you the guys was done with them. They're so much happier now. I promise.
All right. They're going to be playing 35 minutes and losing.
Nah. We make a change. We're going to be like the better Cavs, right? Win the East and then actually win the East.
Okay.
We got another window because Tatum's out. So we got another chance. And they about to blow that ship up anyway.
That's what everyone thinks. That's what everyone thinks.
I heard, I'm hearing they got big offers out there for Derek White and Jaylen Brown right now.
I've heard. That's all.
I know Philly out there putting something out there.
Nah, we good.
Trade Maxey right now. What they say, if Bane gets you 4 first, what'll Maxey get you?
6.
Come on, man. What will he get you?
Bro. See, I'm tired of trading people that fit the city and fit what we trying to do. That's our problem, yo. Keep bringing in goofballs instead of keeping the people that understand the city, understand the culture, and what we trying to build here.
I mean,
understand Philly fans, yo. Who?
Utah, they saying they might take PG off your hands.
They probably won't. They
Gotta give
probably
up pick
trying.
3 though.
I don't trust Danny Ainge.
Yeah,
I don't
he'll
trust any
fleece you.
Ainge.
He'll fleece you quick.
Yeah.
But hey, man, we're gonna wrap this episode up for today. We're gonna see, everybody's favorite 2 words, Game 7. So we'll see in the finals, like you said, Nell, pretty kind of rare, right? Like we don't see it often. So, it'll be fun. All chips are pushed to the middle. Everybody's best on best. We're gonna see if the best team in the league can show they're the best team in the league, doing in dominating fashion. See if the MVP can, pull it out. If J-Dub gets another 40-point game, does he win Finals MVP though?
No.
I'm just asking.
Because Shea's still gonna have 35.
I mean, yeah, he gets 30 every night, which is nuts. All right, so we'll see, man. But check in with us. Keep showing love on all of our social media platforms, right? The Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker. Did I say YouTube? I feel like y'all don't be watching the YouTube. Like y'all be missing out. Watch the YouTube sometimes, man. I know y'all want to turn us on your morning commute. That's cool. We appreciate that too, but it's not like seeing a real thing, not like seeing a real thing. So, we'll see. Next time y'all hear from us, the NBA season will be over, man. That's tough. So
Draft talk.
Hey, draft talk. Draft is coming right around the corner. Well, I don't really have much to talk about because my team doesn't draft players, and let alone use them if we draft them. So we'll see. But you guys got some things up your sleeve. Ace Bailey wants that promise before he step on that court.
Can't give it to him.
But we'll see.
Acting
We'll see
crazy.
what happens. We'll see what happens.
I knew when we went to that game in Maryland. I knew there was something off about that kid.
You did. You said something was up with him. He already starting off bad, man. He can drop to my Knicks. We'll trade up for him. Come off the bench, look good. Let him develop in the big city. Come on. If you don't want him.
He want a superstar. He want to be a superstar right away. He need that path to superstardom. Yeah, that's why he's trying to go to Washington.
Dreams die in Washington. He'll learn. He'll learn soon. You can go watch him if he plays in Washington, though.
I would never pay to go see that man again.
Oh. Hey, man. That's hilarious. But all right, folks. That's going to do it for this episode of 2 for 2, man. It's season 3, episode 96. We appreciate all the love and support. Continue to show love on all the platforms, man. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You know where to find us. We everywhere. Quis and Nell. That's going to do it for this episode. We out.